Nicole Taswell, and I'll be presenting my capstone project for my MSN in Nursing Education. My project was Improving Nursing Communication During Shift Report. For my problem background, currently shift report is conducted in by exception or ad hoc manner, leaving no standard or requirement as to what information is to be passed on to the oncoming shift. As a result, pertinent clinical information is often incomplete or not passed along at all. Pretty much nurses are pretty much left to decide what information they feel is important to pass on to the next shift. This leads to missing or inaccurate information being reported. Introduction, effective communication in nursing is vital to patient safety. The Joint Commission has identified miscommunication as a contributor to sentinel events on numerous occasions. Breaks in communications are more likely to occur during transitions in care. And in nursing, transitions in care typically occur 2 to 3 times per day. And information can be lost with each transition. Standardizing report would ensure that the same type of information is present at each change of shift report. Okay, why improve communication during shift report? One of the 2016 National Patient Safety Goals is to improve staff communication. Oncoming staff typically get their communication in shift report. It's pretty much the only time where all staff is able to be together to hear patient information. Ineffective communication led to errors and omissions in care. Effective communication is critical to optimum patient care, and poor communication has been identified as the single most frequent cause of adverse events across all facets of healthcare. So again, communication in healthcare is extremely important. The gap between evidence and current practice. Currently, there is a gap between evidence-based practice in the area of nursing handoff. It's essentially non-existent, and there is a great need for more research. There has been recommendations, as far as how to improve it, but there's not been any evidence-based practice in the area of nursing handoff. Although evidence-based practice is not available, credible organizations have made recommendations on strategies to improve communication between shifts. Both the World Health Organization and the Joint Commission recommend a standardized method of reporting and situational briefing techniques such as Situation Background Assessment Recommendation, SBAR. The process to develop and launch the Capstone project. First, I identified the problem. Ineffective communication during shift report was the problem, and this is a problem that I've experienced multiple times as in my nursing career. Then I did a literature review. I searched 30 peer-reviewed articles that had to do with nursing handoff, shift report, educating nurses, etc. And most of the recommendations was educating nurses on communication techniques and recommendation of a structured handoff communication tool. Implementation. After hours of research and gathering the best, practices and techniques, educational strategy that I decided on was developing an educational pamphlet on how to use SBAR to improve communication. And I pretty much developed the pamphlet and presented it to fellow nurses. On the pamphlet, I broke down each section of SBAR. For situation, I educated the nurses on what information they're supposed to report for situation, such as the patient's current condition, have there been any recent changes, reason for continued hospitalization, and importantly, give a brief, clear summary of pertinent patient concerns. For background, what has happened with the patient that pertains to the current situation? What was the admitting diagnosis? Events that led to hospitalization, and state events that have led to the current status. For assessment, what is the analysis of your findings? Your assessment data can include vital signs, things like that. Summarize the findings and draw a conclusion about what is occurring. For recommendation, what is the recommended course of action? What would you like to see happen next? What do you want to see continue with this patient? What should be monitored? Pretty much what nursing actions do you want to see happen? And on the back of the pamphlet, I just gave an example. And let's see, the situation. Mr. X is a 56-year-old male on day 2 of admission with a diagnosis of ETOH dependence. He has increased tremors, blood pressure is 190 over 105, respiration is 120, temperature 98.9. He's anxious and confused. Background, alert and oriented, ×4 on admission. Has a history of drinking a 12-pack of beer a day for the past 7 years. BAL on admission was 0.250. Last drink was 3 days ago. For assessment, the example of the assessment I gave was my assessment of the situation is that he is experiencing signs of alcohol withdrawal and delirium tremens. And he was medicated with Librium at 0,600. So the recommendation would be just to, he is on alcohol withdrawal protocol, continue to monitor his vitals and continue to do the alcohol withdrawal assessment and notify the MD if symptoms worsen. Okay. The most successful aspects of the Capstone project, bringing awareness to the need to improve patient safety by improving communication between shifts. Nurses were also able to develop an understanding of how to utilize SBAR to improve communication during change of shift report. How success will inform future projects. I believe SBAR can also be studied to see if it can aid in improving communication between nurses and physicians. When telephoning the physician to report a concern or a change in status, SBAR can be helpful because it organizes the information into a clear, concise manner to help relay pertinent clinical information. Often when you're calling a doctor, you're a bit anxious. You're not sure how the call is going to be received, but just, be clear and precise, and that's pretty much all you can do with that. Aspects that did not go well with the, as anticipated, was time. I had originally planned on doing this project, presenting the pamphlet to my nurses that I work with during the scheduled shift, but it just didn't happen. It was just way too busy. Time just didn't permit. So it took some adjustments to make time to present it. And it was very challenging to find time to present the project to fellow nurses all at once, so I decided to educate them separately. For future projects, definitely I will just schedule time outside of the working hours for implementation. The plan to support post-implementation. The short-term plan is to continue to hang the pamphlet on the bulletin board in the staff break room. The long-term plan includes including the pamphlet in new hire orientation and educating new hires on effective methods of communication during shift report by using the SBAR. Pretty much start them off right when they first come in the door, and hopefully those practices will continue. The resources needed for post-implementation support. Well, they're going to need more educational pamphlets because each new hire will need to receive educational pamphlet as a reference, and then something they can kind of look back on also until they've mastered it. We're going to need SBAR templates on the units so that it can be easily accessible, and a change in the new hire curriculum to include an information session for utilizing SBAR when given change of shift report. Integration of MSN program outcomes. Okay, so I chose two of the program outcomes. The first one is design innovative nursing practices to impact quality outcomes for individuals, populations, and systems congruent with ethical, professional, and legal standards. SBAR is an innovative nursing practice to improve patient safety and the quality of patient care. It is congruent with ethical, personal, and professional and legal standards. It also aligns with the Joint Commission's 2016 Hospital National Patient Safety goals that identify improving the effectiveness of communication among caregivers. For the second MSN program goal, design organizational and leadership systems that promote high quality patient care delivery and advance lifelong learning. SBAR, the structured handoff communication tool, helps nurses to design a systematic approach to organizing pertinent patient information. Organizing patient information is essential to providing a clear and accurate shift report. And a clear and accurate shift report promotes high quality patient care delivery. And that is the end.